Previously on Empire of Solitude.
The question should be, will you love me in turbulence and chaos as much as in calm seas?
Who were you with? There's no need to lie. Who is she?
Somebody I could love.
What is moral about colonization? The United States will never liberate Puerto Rico peacefully.
You expect me to support this?
I expect you to support liberation. You talk about change like it comes so easily, and you don't. You don't really believe in sacrifice, do you?
You're so selfish. There are bigger things in the world than the whims and fancies of Julia de Burgos.
I never thought absence could be so present until I loved the shadow.
I'm so hot, I could tear off my own skin. That should be a slogan for the world. We either feel too little or too much. How could we not go mad when we spend our whole lives performing until we can't even recognize ourselves? That made me numero. Only a number on a box in a morgue. I need to call my sister.
I need to call my sister.
Call my sister.
Empire of Solitude, Episode 3.
Here. Drink some water. You gonna be okay? Should I call someone?
No. I've had this cold for a couple days. It comes and goes.
Summer colds are the worst. At least in winter, it feels good to drink soup and curl up in bed.
I feel so hot, I could tear off my own skin.
Own skin.
Down to the bone.
Are you sure you're okay? Mira, look, I have some Vicks.
My mother would scold me, but not even Vicks can cure what I have.
Blasphemy. Are you sure you're Baricua?
You're kind. Not every bartender is.
I find it much easier to keep customers when you care.
That should be a slogan for the world.
Someone break your heart?
Everyone. Everything. I came from nothing, so I learned. I read and wrote and thought if I shared my words, I could be someone. I thought by expressing my ideas, sharing my beliefs, I could be someone. I thought if I married and was the epitome of a perfect wife, that I would have arrived. When that failed, I thought I would marry for love and give my entire heart and soul to another. And this would make me someone. All I got were craters in my heart to rival the moon. I came here thinking things would be different. I made friends with other expats from Puerto Rico, and I thought that maybe they would see value in me. But I was always too opinionated, loud, confrontational. No, the word they used was emotional.
That's a true scarlet letter for a woman. We either feel too little or too much.
I thought I could at least be accepted by other women. But then I get to know them, and even the people I thought were rebels and liberals still placed marriage and motherhood as the highest goal of womanhood. Or people I thought were Marxists who just used that ideology as repressively as any Catholic. Every ray of light I'd see in another person, if I stared long enough, would disappear behind a cloud.
What about your family? Did they at least accept you?
I moved in with my sister, who I thought was my best friend, who I would share my poetry with because she understood my heart. But then she got religion and a husband, and if I let my sadness show too much, she would send me off to Welfare Island. Melancholy for a man is seen as intelligence. For a woman, madness. A woman is supposed to smile and be the life of the party, but also regal and proper. Sexual and prudish all at once. How could we not go mad when we spend our whole lives performing until we can't even recognize ourselves? I did all that to be someone. Parece que sí. I don't even know anymore.
Is that why you came here tonight? To get away?
I've been gone for 9-10 days. I've been going from bar to bar, sleeping wherever I can. That's how I got this cold. If I went back, she would send me away again. Have you ever been in an institution?
No, but I have friends who have. If no one's ever said it, that must have been hard. And I'm sorry you went through that.
Thank you. I haven't. Thank you. Welfare Island felt like death's waiting room. That I was no longer of this world. Like how veterans must feel. You returned from another planet and nobody believes you.
You have no reason to feel shame.
La vergüenza está empezada. Que mi alma entera siente un cansancio profundo. No matter how much sleep I get, my body is wide awake. But my soul, my heart is so tired of carrying this life. The dread, the pain that I can't even tell anyone about. That you don't know unless you've been locked up to be forgotten. You're nothing but a number.
Dame mi número.
When I leave this world, there will be no procession for Julia.
Only a number on a
box
box
in the morgue.
in a morgue.
In whatever graveyard they dump me in. Another skeleton destined to be patrol in 1,000,000 years. I'll find my use in some future car that uses me to drive to Niagara Falls. Or Viejo San Juan if it still exists. If any of us do. The soil will oppress my bones the way the walls and bars of Welfare Island oppressed my heart. In those places, oppression is not esoteric. You literally could climb the walls and never escape. You fight it at first and then... Mozo, servame otra copa.
You might need a break.
Have pity on me.
You want the same thing?
Give me something to remind me of Puerto Rico. A piña colada.
The fortunes of women rise and fall. We're needed in wars to work the plants and care for the children. And we're needed in peace to stay home and care for the children. We organize the lives of those we love. The men especially, who have the world in the palm of their hands and no clue what to do with it. And maybe they would if they ever talked to their wife about more than when dinner will be done. I spent my life wishing a man could just be my friend, to see me the way they see other men.
As equals.
As a human being, a full person who never has to explain themselves, who can excel and fail and be furious and dream big and say the wrong things and still be loved, even if only by myself.
Myself is all I ever had. A companion sounded nice.
You said you were married?
And divorced. 3 times. That's why I can't go back to Puerto Rico. You think being a divorcee in America is bad? On the island, I might as well have killed my father. Old Spanish ways of making a woman feel like less than a shadow. You know what? Forget the piña colada. Just make me a Cuba Libre.
But I'm almost finished.
I know. It's too sweet for me now. Please. You're an angel.
In America, women might as well be rags tossed in a corner.
I thought it would be different. When I left Puerto Rico, I swore I would never return until the island was free. That once the Americans and the old order were overthrown, we could make a new country where women could be respected and given full personhood. Is that Pepsi? You don't have Coca-Cola?
I'm sorry, of course.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be difficult.
Not at all. Here you go.
See, just like home. Like I was saying, when the revolution in 1950 happened, I thought, this is it. Albizu is going to bring me home. Even the best man in the world made me pay for believing in him.
You've been in New York this whole time?
No. I was in Cuba for several years. Another country on the brink of revolution. And I thought maybe if Cuba could be free first and show us the way. Pero no. I was as disappointed in the liberal circles of Havana as I was in San Juan. New York became my last chance to be somewhere. Even it was just on the corner of a city in this empire of shredded hearts and mangled bones. Maybe here I could find people who accepted me and saw me as being enough. I started working for a paper and met a group of writers and intellectuals from the island. Mostly men. Those Boricua men love to praise me and tell me how talented and beautiful I am. But any time I had the chance to advance, to get a promotion or be published or get any attention that made them look small, suddenly all the doors that appeared to be opening were blocked by walls, and I could hear their laughter on the other side. It was just like being back on the island, only instead of strangling me with tradition, they suffocated me with their ambition. I was only ever allowed to excel in my beauty, and never in my intelligence. I was married 3 times for a reason. It could have been more, but no man ever loved me as much as I love myself. And no man could ever make me compromise that. Not even when I was trying to be a good housewife. Men love a strong woman when their blood is in between their legs, but the minute they finish, if you don't tell them they were the best and make them coffee and baby them like their abuelas, they go crying for the next dumb harlot. But the harlots don't make love like me. I tried 3 husbands in 3 countries, and they all disappointed me the same. Nowhere in the world can I take pride in being me.
You can. And there will be those who admire you. But you don't need them.
Then why can't I stop wishing at least one person could see in me all that I see in myself?
Humans need each other. I'm sure your sister needs you.
She can't stand me.
Or she just doesn't know how to help you. But she must want to.
She broke my heart. These last few days, I wanted to call her so many times. I was so upset when I left. My mind was on fire. The thoughts going so fast, I could barely make sense of it. And then memory after memory flooding my brain. Time moving backward and forward, and all the memories, all the hurt just started feeling like the same loop. Repeating the same mistakes, and if I went back to my sister, it would just be the same old story. There is no new story for me. Maybe I was born in the wrong time. But what if I lived another 20 years and nothing changes? Or what if things do change and I hate it even more?
But what if things do get better and you get that validation, even if you're 90 years old?
I struggle to see how that would be a consolation.
Maybe it's a matter of perspective. Where did you sleep last night? And the nights before that?
I slept in the subway a few nights. Other I found an alley where I could be left alone. I needed to drink enough to want to sleep. Otherwise, my thoughts rang in my ears like gunshots. I would sit in the back of bars watching people, couples, old vagrants. Sometimes a man with a black hat would follow me from bar to bar. I had seen him before. I think the last time I saw him was the last time I wasn't sick. The beer tasted different that night. Whatever that could mean.
Was that man real?
He could have been. Or he could have been every man in my life. The days became blurrier. I need to call my sister.
You're fading.
Was I ever really here?
There has to be more. It can't all be suffering. There has to be beauty too, no?
Give me one shot of rum. One last taste of home. New York at dawn reminds me of Puerto Rico. Before the cars and people's conversations pollute the air, in some neighborhoods, you could hear roosters and the smell of coffee, and for a moment, I would be back on the banks of the Rio de Loíza, near my abuela's house, where me and my sister would play, and she was my world. All the fish and plants and the sands along the banks, it was our country. At dawn in this city, when the wind rattles the trees, I would think of the palms that lined the river. I would pass panaderias, and the smell of bread and pastries took me back to Sunday mornings with my abuela, who with the softest hands would caress my hair. I would never feel love like that again. No matter how bad the nights would be, walking the streets in the morning gave me back those days with my abuela and my sister. Back when she loved me. For a moment, when the sun would peek out between the buildings, I imagined it was the sun over the Caribbean, if only for a few seconds, maybe a minute at most. And my weary mind felt clarity, as the reality of all that I survived and all that I have done would make my heart rejoice, as I realized that no matter what I endured, I had me all along. Dios mío, what a fool I've been. I was enough. I was always enough.
Tiene que partir de aquí, en este mismo instante. Mi grito al mundo.
Life was somewhere forgotten, and sought refuge in depths of tears and sorrows, over this vast empire of solitude and darkness. ¿Dónde está la voz de la libertad?
Libertad de reír, de moverse. Sin el pesado fantasma del desespero.
It has to be from here, right this instance.
My cry into the world. Mi grito que no es más mío, pero de él y de ella, para siempre. Los camaradas de mi silencio. Los fantasmas de mi sepultura. It has to be from here.
Forgotten but unshaken, among comrades of silence, deep into Welfare Island. My farewell to the world.
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 Empire of Solitude is a flamboyant theater production presented by Boricuas Unidos en la Diaspora and inspired by the poetry of Julia de Burgos. Empire of Solitude was directed by Nade Cortez, written by John Marcantoni, with sound design by Veronica Straitlingo, and stars Nade Cortez as Julia, Lauren Michelle Long as Poetess, Laura Madrid as Feminine, Giselle Gonzalez as Revolutionary, and Denise Zubizarreta as wife. Flamboyant Theater is a performing arts theater in Denver, Colorado that focuses on uniting Puerto Ricans who share the love of music, poetry, theater, and most importantly, the place we call home, Puerto Rico. Please share and leave a review for this show, and we encourage you to learn more about the life and work of Julia de Burgos.